As the hurricane season is upon us, all Barbadians and residents should be preparing themselves for a state of readiness. Government entities have also been readying themselves for any eventuality. The Drainage Division in the Ministry of Transport Works and Maintenance has been working in areas across the island to reduce the occurrence of flooding in some communities. One such community is Murphy's Pasture in the city, where a retention pond is under construction.
The lands were higher than the lands around the houses. And with flooding, you'll get flooding around the houses before the playing field. And what we've done is to attempt to do some mitigation. It will not solve the problem of flooding in the area. What we'll do is to alleviate much of what they've had before, in that when the water backs up in the drain, the stormwater drain, it will back up into an area lower than the lands around the houses, and then it will retain the water and then release it when the drains become depleted of water.
Mr. Yearwood said because of the density and urbanization of our island, areas that never had flooding are experiencing flooding in recent years. Plans are in the works to address these problem areas.
We have a high urbanization, a high number of people who live along the south and west coast. As we will develop, a number of the areas they're developing are becoming more prone potentially to flooding. And so it's not the case of the landform itself, it's about people's activities that contribute to flooding. And the areas which never had flooding before, that we see being involved with complaints for flooding. We have a priority list of areas that are flood prone, and this is where we work with them in terms of not only alleviating flooding, because it requires huge sums of capital, and we will program it in our annual budget to do portions of it. The other thing is that we also, not only in terms of doing capital works, but we also want to do mitigation, and mitigation through town planning process, where we assess town plan applications sent to us, drainage impacts and stormwater evaluations, and recommend the chief town planner for approval of these developments, particularly subdivisions, and to provide a way for water to continue to run through watercourses and tributaries.
Outside of the plans for flood alleviation programs, the division also maintains wells and observes certain flood-prone areas.
We also have 3 areas that are low-lying and for which we pump water from the areas out to falls. For complaints, there's a lot of work is done not only through the observation of the officers in the field, but through complaints. And complaints are indicator of the people's experiences of flooding. And some respond to them, and there are various reasons why they flood. And we address them through some routine maintenance, where persons in the district respond to those.
The senior technical officer stresses that we all have a responsibility to reduce the effects of flooding in our communities.
At the household level, you have persons who put out garbage. You have persons who have to care their lawns. Where do they how do they dispose of their garbage and their clippings and their lawn grasses? And that's at that level. You have to do it in a controlled way. The sanitation authority comes around. They've been talking about composting. So these are measures in which people can do at the household level. At the community level, there are neighborhood watches. There are also district emergency organizations, and ask persons to join them. Be aware of what's happening and who's responsible. When one catches water roof, they reduce the volume of water going to the road and to affect flooding. And it's a small volume. But when you add it up in a community of 100 houses, it can be significant. And in fact, many of the complaints to the Drainage Division is really about nuisance flooding. We have water less than a foot on the road. So you see, they can contribute by taking some of the water off, cracking up the roof, and using it for purposes around your house.